So the very last thing you need to do before you sew your buttonhole and buttons on is to sew that waistband down. Now in the instructions I've got to top stitch around the entire waistband. I know that when I started sewing that, I had trouble keeping that straight, and for some reason it always came out wonky. So if you didn't want to do it that way, you could just go ahead and stitch in the ditch, and that is why I love doing a waistband like this, because when you stitch in the ditch, you're going to catch this. It's not too bulky. We haven't added extra bulk to where this seam allowance is folded in. So if you just wanted to stitch in the ditch, you can go ahead and do that. But if you're following the pattern, we're going to edge stitch around the entire waistband. So again, about 1 to 2 mil in. You can start wherever. I prefer not to start right where the button is going to be, so because it's a bit of a focal point, but you just stitch 1 to 2 mil in inside the waistband the entire way around the waistband, just inside the edge. I always pin this, so I've got my seam allowance all jumbled up here. I've got my seam allowance folded up inside, and then I will pin this down. I've still got my pins in that I had before, so I'll take them out now. Starting again at the side seams, and then I can just, can't pick that up, add my pins in. I like to make sure I grab the seam allowance when I pin that down, and I'll do that the entire way around and then stitch.